Hey, what's up, y'all, and welcome to episode 113 of the Take One podcast. I am your host, August C. Jones, and sorry that this podcast is a little bit later in the week. Man, I just been out of it, just been tired, trying to find time to do it, and so now I found a little time to go ahead and crack this out. So I'm gonna go ahead and do it. It's a lot of stuff to cover. I am going to touch on the Oscars that happened last weekend, this past Sunday. And then I'm also going to do the box office. And I'm going to talk about two of the trailers that dropped this past weekend. And from there, we're just going to go ahead and, just do what we do. So the Oscars happened. Now, disclaimer, I didn't watch the Oscars. I was not able to find time to watch it the day that it aired or even afterwards. I believe I recorded it. I can't remember, but I just simply could not find the time to watch it among the other things that I was doing this week and, working a job and everything else. But I did go through what the nominees were and, and who won. Who came out the winner. I'm going to go back sometime probably this weekend and look over the aspects of it, like the speeches and stuff, and just watch it. But I just simply could not find time to sit down and watch different aspects of it and everything. But without any further ado, here's my reaction. So these are not in order. Not in order at all. These are just where I pick them up where I found them. So Best Costume Design went to Black Panther, which I believe that was kind of like one of the picks that I had to win that. Best Supporting Female Actress, Regina King. I believe I didn't have Regina King in my scope. I think I had Emma Thompson. I forgot who else I picked. I'm doing this off the whim, so forgive me. But I know I didn't pick Regina King. I wasn't taken to by her, her performance in the movie, but that's not taking away the fact that she did do good in the movie. But obviously she was taken by a lot of people, so yeah, she won, so congratulations to her. Best Director, Alfonso Cuarón, I believe that's how you pronounce his name, for Roma. Best Supporting Male Actor, Mahershala Ali, which I thought, he was going to win, Green Book was a movie that I was just bragging to anybody about. That was a great movie. So if it won every single category that it was in, it would have made me happy. The one was a no-brainer. Best Animated Film, of course. Of course. I said without no, just without no doubts in my mind that Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse was going to win that. And it did. Because that simply, hands down, was the best animated film last year. I don't care how much you love Incredibles 2. I don't care how much you love Wreck-It Ralph 2. Ralph Breaks the Internet. Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse was the best one that came out last year. So, yeah. Best Actress, Olivia Colman for The Favorite. Wasn't my pick, but, hey, congratulations to her. It was a decent movie. I enjoyed it. So I could see her winning. Best Actor, Rami Malek, yes. If anybody didn't come out of Bohemian Rhapsody with anything else, but I feel like they would have came out with Rami Malek as a great actor. Like, he killed the role. You may not have liked the way they written, the way that they have written, what's his name, Freddie Mercury, just for this film and, just changing around certain things. But you cannot deny that Rami Malek is a great actor. And I can literally see him for being picked and just being called up for a lot of roles. Maybe similar to this or just being in other movies after this film. Him and Mahershala Ali is one of those actors that, after you just crush it, you're going to get a lot of phone calls. Hey, be in this movie, and all this stuff. So I literally can see that. So best cinematography went for Roma. Of course, I still have not gotten around to watching Roma. I will eventually watch it. I haven't got the time around, but even just the introduction to when, the movie first starts, you can tell this looks gorgeous. So that was just hands down. Live action short, Skin, haven't seen it. Best foreign language film, Roma. Best sound editing, Bohemian Rhapsody. And best sound mixing, Well, best editing and best sound mixing both went to Bohemian Rhapsody, which, I'm down with it. Best production design, Black Panther, yes. Best original screenplay, Green Book. Best documentary, Free Solo. And Free Solo, that was one that I actually was kind of interested in seeing. I get, when I go get tickets online, I usually get it off of Adam, and that's my go-to. Sometimes I may have to get it off of Fandango for a certain reason, because Adam don't, certain theaters that are within driving length of me, whatever, Adam don't support those theaters. So I'm going to have to go to, Fandango. I mean, I could go to the actual site of the theater and buy the ticket off of there, but I just go to Fandango, and Fandango supports that theater, so whatever. But in any case, Adam had the advertisement on it when you first go on it with Free Solo. And I was like, man, I might go check it out, whatever. And I never did. And I'm not kicking myself in the butt for not going to go see it, but I wish that I had that found time to go see it. But, days is long, and there are not enough hours in the day to, work, sleep, and then, get the accurate amount of sleep to where you wake up refreshed, rejuvenated, replenished, and all that stuff, and able to just do what you need to do or what you want to do. And that's all the case it is. Best animated short, Bayo, which I didn't realize that I've seen it, but I believe this was the short that showed in front of The Incredibles 2. But I didn't realize that I saw it. So, I mean, I didn't know the name of it, but okay, yeah. Hats off to that. Best documentary short, period, end of sentence, never seen it. Best adapted screenplay, Black Klansman. Hey, first Oscar going to, what's his name? Spike Lee. Hell, hats off to you. Best song, Shallow, from Star is Born. I kind of figured that was going to get it. And the most important, well, all of them are important, but the one that everybody was looking for, one of the big ones that everybody was looking for, was Best Picture, and my pick for Green Book won. I know a lot of people, even people that I work with, were talking about how they wanted Black Panther to win. Even this one guy I work with was like, he wanted Black Panther to win and all this stuff, and I told him that, like, I don't think it was going to win. And he looked at me kind of like crazy. And that was just kind of like a thing that I've had with Black Panther. I don't know if I believe I said it on the podcast. I know I've said it to other people, but with the whole Black Panther thing, I just didn't want people blowing Black Panther up. If it was a trash movie, and this was before it came out, if it was a trash movie, I get the cultural significance being black and everything else. But if it's a trash movie, it's a trash movie, Don't make it seem better than what it was. Thankfully, that this movie, Black Panther, was incredible. I seen it again when they brought it back into theaters, and you could just go up in there and watch it for free. You just had to sign your name on a piece of paper, blah blah. It was still incredible. Like, that movie is like, just, man, what Ryan Coogler did with that movie was just awesome. But getting back on to subject, he looked at me crazy. And that was just my thing. Is like, a lot of people want Black Panther to win. I get that. You want your favorite movie to win and everything else. But the reason why for so many years I've never cared for the Oscars, and it wasn't just because I've watched it and I just didn't like what they were doing. It's just because I've never seen enough movies, or the movies that were being picked to being nominated. I haven't seen all of them. So there really was no point of watching the Oscars if, The Wall That Never Speaks won Best Picture. And I've never seen it or never heard of it, never had any interest in seeing it. There was really no point. So I never was able to give a valid, opinion or valid, pick for what movie I would want to win Best, Picture or any of the categories. And when he looked at me weird, my question to him was, did you see any other movies? Because like a lot of people would say, like, I want Black Panther to win, but have you seen any of the other movies? I seen every single film in the Best Picture category except for Roma. So I can give a valid opinion on, what movie I feel should win and what movie I want, to win, And it was like, that's what I was just trying to like tell him. It's like, man, like I know you want Black Panther to win, but like if you haven't seen any of the other films, then you really don't have a valid pick. I mean, you can always pick. I mean, you're free to do it, but if you're not comparing it to the other films legitimately, I feel like you should have no say in it. I mean, it's just, that's just what it is. But yeah, Green Book was a movie that I was curious in seeing, you know, because I've been seeing a lot of movies, even movies that I probably would never been interested in otherwise or whatever. I just go in to see it, and I've been surprised by a lot of films. Came out of it, not really expecting too much, because it's not a movie that was in my wheelhouse of where I was like, I'm really, really like excited to see it. And I ended up coming out of it, and I'm like, man, this was actually a great film. And Green Book was one of those films. And yeah, I'm glad that it won. It needed to win. It deserved to win, because that to me was the better film out of the whole category. So to each his own. To each his own. So let's go ahead and jump up out of there and enter the next segment, which is trailer reviews. And I have two trailers to talk about. The first being the Dark Phoenix trailer, the second Dark Phoenix trailer. And so just right off the bat, I'm conflicted. I'm really am conflicted, because just watching the trailer, this trailer was awesome. It was really good, from how it starts off to how it ends. Now, some of the things that I did like about it was just some of the visuals. It looks like it's emotional, it's gripping, and everything else. But it's hard to get invested in a trailer to a movie where you're constantly hearing, like, you can go on the internet and you can constantly read up on just how bad the movie is. Now, given I haven't seen it, a lot of people that's talking about it have not seen it, but a lot of people, a lot of, reputable, podcasters and stuff have, sources that work closely with the movie and everything else. And they constantly say it. Now, you can take their word for it or not. A lot of people, these podcasters that I listen to or whatever, or a podcaster that I listen to, I ain't going to say podcasters, but a podcaster I listen to, John Campia, knows people that are close to the film that he's heard says that the movie is bad. His friend Robert Meyer Burnett knows people that works closely with the movies too, and they said the same thing. And they basically like went back and forth with reports of just, talking with each other and just basically just saying, yes, this is what we've heard, this is what I've heard, you've heard the same thing, blah, blah, blah. And I'm inclined to believe, them, because they haven't steered me wrong or whatever, and they like to dig up their sources. But I've also read other things on the internet from other sites and stuff that basically tells the same thing. And so when you got one person saying this, whatever, you got two people saying, okay, whatever. When you got multiple sources coming out and saying the same thing, then you got to start to, put the pieces together. And maybe this is not a good film. And that's what's saddening about it, because looking at the trailer, if you didn't know any of the behind scenes of it, you went into it and just looked at it as like, oh, this is a new film. This looks crazy. I want to see this. Like, that's your impression. But it's like, it's sad, because it does look good from the trailers. The trailers are selling it. That is looking good. And some of the things that have been pointed out that I can see myself in the trailer is that one of the reports that I've read was that the script closely similar to the script is closely similar to the script of Last Stand, and that's the third X-Men film that had came out. And that film, a lot of people tore it apart. They hated it, blah, blah, blah. And this film kind of closely resembles that. When you look into it, there is a neighborhood scene. And that's what happened in The Last Stand, when Professor X and Magneto were both trying to persuade Jean to go pick which, side she wants to go on. They went to her old house. Her her neighborhood and everything else. And then you dealing with the whole like from the last, from the last trailer, you got her talking to Magneto, saying like, "Are you asking for forgiveness or for permission?" Or no, you didn't come here for forgiveness. You came here for permission, or something like that. She goes to Magneto, and that's what happened in The Last Stand. And then it has to do with a bus scene, well, not bus, train scene, and that's what happens in The Last Stand of like somebody getting broken out of the train or something. Just it involves a train nonetheless. And there are some similarities. Now, given like the majority of the film may have a crazy difference from there, just with minor similarities, but overall the whole spectrum of just the overall film is just totally different. But I'm still just kind of conflicted of like, just, is this movie truly going to be good? Are we going to have to sit here and just be like, and that's my reaction when I see a bad film and I'm just not enjoying it and a lot of stupid stuff is happening. I take a deep breath and I'm like, really? And that's just my reaction. But hopefully I find some entertainment, some enjoyment from this movie. Hopefully it's just not a whole total dumpster fire. But hell, this trailer sells it good. This trailer looks really good. It looks like it has more meat to it. It looks like it has some enjoyment from it. I just hope that my thoughts coming from this trailer is true, that it is worth watching. I say, because like Venom, hopefully it's in the same boat as like Venom. Last year I was wishing the world of Venom. I wanted to see it. I wanted to see a good film. And I ended up coming out of it like it was okay, but it was just not, it was not a great film. It was just a good, decent little film to enjoy. Hopefully I have that expectation from it. But from the trailer, yeah, you get, like, before I even pass on from this, you got Mystique dies. Spoiler alert, they gave it away in the trailer, but she dies. And I'm guessing the reason why they put it in the trailer, because a lot of people was going to probably be like, why would you do this and all this stuff? And a lot of people kind of got that from the first trailer. But in any case, I feel like hopefully that the reason why they put it in the trailer was because simply it is a big part of the movie. Like, it's a significant part as to the reason why there are dire, consequences or dire actions that need to be taken when it comes to her. It's like, yeah, she has a force inside of her that can't be controlled, but she's killed one of us. She's killed her friend. We need to stop her. And you can do that without showing it in the trailers, because that's basically, spoiler alert. I'm about to give out a little spoiler alert. If you have not seen Deadpool 2, this is a big spoiler. But in the movie, his girlfriend dies. She dies in the beginning. And that was a action that propelled his actions throughout the whole movie. And it set the tone for just his character in a whole, for why he was doing what he was doing, why he was doing it, and everything else. So it was a big major part. And they didn't show that in the trailer. They didn't have to show it in the trailer. When you watch the movie, you see it. That was the reason. They probably could have did it the same way, but I think that, I guess either way, depending on what happens, you can do it. This is marketing, so they feel like maybe that was a strong thing to throw up in there, was why, the X-Men need to do what they do, why they need to stop her. And it's like, yeah, Mystique, I was about to say Monique. Mystique is the reason why they need to stop the Dark Phoenix and hopefully separate the Phoenix from her and bring Jean back to where she can just be whatever. But I don't know, like, I feel like if it plays a strong major part throughout the film, then that was maybe reasonable for why they put it in the advertisements. But hey, it's whatever. Like I said, the rest of the trailer looked good. It was an awesome trailer to drop or whatnot. But I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at it at all. But in any case, that ends my review on that trailer. Let's jump on to the next one. So the second trailer, which is, I guess you could say, a running theme with this these new trailers. The second trailer to Hellboy, the reboot, had dropped, and I liked it. I really, really liked the new trailer. I'm still not on board with this being a. I'm gonna put it like this. It's a standard. The standard bar is that it's gonna be a good movie. And I don't mean like it's gonna be a good movie or a really good movie, but it's just gonna be good, decent, a movie or whatever. I don't know. I'm still not on board. I'm still not as excited or more excited for this movie than I was before this first trailer or before before the second trailer. Or I say slightly maybe more than, I don't know. I'm just not more excited for it. Put it like this, because I'm just thinking about back to, what I thought about before the first trailer even dropped. After seeing it, I guess you could say my expectations went down a little bit because it wasn't, whatever. But I mean, the second trailer brought it right back up to that expectation. Maybe put it like in perspective. If my expectations were 1, for this movie, and I'm just throwing out a number. I ain't saying like it was true, really, really low. But it was 1 before the first trailer. Then it probably kind of went down to a 0, and this second trailer brought it back up to a 1. So maybe 1 is not the best number, but I'm just throwing out a number just to give an example. Just to make it a little bit better. Maybe my expectations were at a 5, and then the first trailer brought it down to a 4, and now it's back at a 5. But in any case, I don't know, like, I liked the trailer. I really did. I don't know, like, I guess you could say it's a little bit of bias, because I really did like the Guillermo del Toro Hellboys and just a lot of the practical effects that went along with it, because Guillermo del Toro with the Hellboy, he set a bar. He set the standard right there of what I come to expect from that. And the practical and as well as the 3D effects or the digital effects worked really good for the movie. Like, that was one of the spectacles of it. It's just, he used a lot of practical effects, and it really, really, really worked. And this movie is like they're going full on digital, with everything, with the monsters and all that stuff. Anything they got that they can or they don't need to use, computers for, they're gonna use computers for. They're not. It seems like they're not going practical with a lot of things. And I'm not talking about the sets and everything else. I'm talking about like just the monsters and stuff. It was like practical monsters was used when he could do it and make it look good. But as far as if we couldn't use practical, he didn't use practical. And this is just, I don't know, like, I guess you could say I'm a little turned off by it, but needless to say, I could go into this movie expecting, let's say, a 1, not really expecting to like it, and come out loving the film. Like, this movie could definitely be in my top 10, or it could definitely be in my top 10 worst, or it could just linger around, just not being on either list, best or worst. Just, it's there. It happened. Yeah, whatever. It wasn't bad enough to be on my worst. It wasn't good enough to be on my good. So I don't know, like, I'm still not at a higher level with this movie. I'm not expecting too much from it. I'm not saying that I'm expecting it to just be horrible. I'm just not expecting anything from it. I'm not expecting, I hope to enjoy it. I hope to enjoy it. I don't hope to go to and that's the thing. Like, I don't want people to think that I'm expecting this movie. I want this movie to do bad. Because if I want a movie to do bad, I'm not going to go see it. I'm simply not going to go see it. If I'm looking at a movie and I'm like, I want this movie to fail, why am I going to waste my money? Even with A-list stubs, first of all, why would I waste my money on a movie that I want to do bad? Because, or, I want to be bad and I want to do bad. Because that's just wasting my money. And then secondly, even if I use A-list stubs, where I get the 3 free movies a week, if I use one of those movies for that, why would I waste my time on a movie that I feel is going to be bad and going to do bad, and that I want to do bad. I don't want this movie to do bad. I want this movie to be good, to where my theater experience, and if I have to come out of pocket, maybe if I don't go to an A-list, I have to come out of pocket for this. Hopefully that my time and or money isn't wasted. So I don't have any expectations for it. I'm literally more than likely going to go into it just like, hey, if it knocked my socks off, it does. If it doesn't, then cool. Hopefully I get some enjoyment out of it. But I mean, yeah, I don't know. I don't have any expectations of this movie. But that's just, even with the trailer. I mean, I like the trailer. It shows a little bit more of the story, because the first one was just showing scenes and stuff and, quick liners and all that stuff. But I don't know, this trailer was better than the first trailer, but it really don't have me more on board than I was really before. It really doesn't. I liked it because it gave an explanation of the possible story and stuff, but other than that, it's whatever. It is whatever. So now let's jump into the last segment of the podcast, which is the box office segment. And so how I do these segments, I'm basically talking about the movies that I had a prediction that will be in the top 5 over the weekend, what actually did go over the weekend, the coming movies for this coming weekend, as well as my predictions for this weekend, what movies I think will come out on top. Now, so let's go ahead and jump right into it. So last week's predictions that I had was that How to Train Your Dragon 3 was going to be at the number 1 spot. Alita was going to take number 2. Lego 2 was going to be at number 3. Fighting With My Family was going to take the number 4 spot. And Happy Death Day to You was going to take the number 5 spot. Now, let's see if I'm right. So what actually did take was Dragons 3 did come over the weekend with 55 million. Then we had Alita Battle Angel did come in at number 2 with 12.3 million. Lego 2, or the Lego Movie 2, came in over the weekend with 9.6 million. Fighting With My Family at number 4 with 7.8 million. But Isn't It Romantic came over the weekend with 7.1 million. Man, and hold up. Yeah. Okay, now I thought I messed up. Anyway. But Happy Death Day went down 2 spots with the number 7 spot with over the weekend with 4.8 million. And man, I was close. I was really close. I seen Isn't It Romantic. I finally did see the movie. Wasn't impressed by it at all. Wasn't impressed by it. I actually really liked Happy Death Day way more than that. So I was just kind of like thrown off with that. Some of the other things, really nothing else kind of stands out to me with the box office. Nothing truly, and these numbers are all from Monday. I've been wanting to do the podcast, so if these numbers are a little bit different from if you can look it up now or whatever, because going throughout the week, that's the reason why. I just wanted to point that out. But nothing really else stands out. I mean, I had everything down pat, with what would take what spot. And I was even surprised that Fighting With My Family did come in at number 4. I knew that it was going to get bumped up once it got a worldwide release, but it easily could have took the number 5 spot, but it took the number 4 spot. So, hey, I was happy about that because I saw that movie as well. Really did like it. Really did like it. And when it comes down to it, the only things that stands out, one thing that I wanted to point out was just the kind of like difference in comparison to the other movies. Now we have some sequels in the top 5. We got Dragons 3, and then we got Lego 2 and Happy Death Day. Not in the top 5, but of the movies that recently came out. And so I wanted to do some comparisons because I had the comparisons or whatever, and I wrote them all down and whatnot. But the budget, when it comes to, I looked at it was like a weird budgeting thing with the Dragons movies, because the first How to Train Your Dragon had a budget of 165 million. And the second one had 145 million. And this movie, the third one, had 129 million. And I guess, I haven't really seen the other movies like that. but you can't really tell too much of just the difference in like budgeting and everything else. And I guess that don't really speaks to the quality of just how the movie looks and everything. But I just thought that was kind of, not weird or anything, but it just stood out to me. But looking at the opening weekends of all the movies, so you got the first Dragons movie opening at 43.7 million. The second one opening at 49.4 million, which is not too far off from the first one. But then you got the third one, which is opening at 55 million, which shows that every single weekend, well, with all the opening weekends with the Dragons movies, it ain't gone up. And domestically, the first one topped off at 217.5 million. Domestically, with the second one was 177 million, which is a crazy drop from the domestic box office from the first one. But as of right now, the third one doing at 57 million. But it's gonna go up because the movie just recently came out, so it's gonna go up from there. But the worldwide total for the first Dragons was at 494 million, but then the worldwide total for the second one is 21.5 million. And I guess, it's weird how certain things work when it comes to the movies, when you're looking at it as far as just domestic to world, because you can have like a weak domestic box office, but then have a great worldwide. Or it could be the total opposite. Have a great domestic, total, but then a trash worldwide. Not too far from the domestic total and everything else. And that was just kind of how like the difference is with that. The third one, I don't know if it's going to reach even the first film worldwide total, because as of when I put the numbers down, it was 257 million worldwide for the third Dragons movies. Well, for the third Dragon movie. And hey, I don't know, like I really enjoyed it. I'm gonna have to go back and watch the first and second film. I believe I did see the first one, but I barely remembered it. In the second one, I don't think I saw that one. So I'm gonna have to go back and look at just the quality of it and just compare it and everything else. But these movies are doing really, really good. As far as the Lego movies, I wanted to point this out, that the opening weekend for the first one was 96 million, and a major drop for the second one was 34.1 million. That is just crazy. And they don't have the budget for the second Lego movie, but the first budget was 60 million. So I'm thinking like it may have not been as much, because even though the first Lego movie was praised by a lot of critics and fans, when it comes to the box office, as far as the Lego movies, and I'm not talking about just the Lego movie and then the Lego movie 2. I'm talking about the Lego Batman movie, as well as the Lego Ninjago movie that came out. They have basically, not done as well, regardless of how good they are. I don't know. I can't pinpoint exactly what it is, why people are falling off of these Lego movies, because if you love the first Lego movie so much, you would think that the next Lego type movie that came out, you would be all up on it. And as good as the Lego Batman movie was, it made less. It didn't. Well, I'm putting it like this: it didn't make as much money as the Lego movie. I ain't got the numbers in front of me, but it didn't make as much money as the studio wanted it to do, as well as the Lego Ninjago movie. Same thing. Both of those movies I really did like. And just didn't do the numbers that they would have wanted it to do. And the Lego movie is basically just a trend now with the Lego movies now. I don't know what it is. If you love the first one so much, like, why are why is it not doing good? I just don't know. I truly do not know. But domestically, the first one topped off at 257.7 million, and worldwide 469.1 million. So domestically right now, the second one is at 83 million, and worldwide is at 136 million. I truly don't know if it's going to catch the first one as far as worldwide, or even I know it's not going to catch the domestic. I know definitely not is going to catch the domestic, but worldwide it may stand a good chance of even, I say, getting half of the worldwide total, because I don't know, like this, the second one has a lot of goodness to it. It's not as good as the first one, but and that's what just, and that's just my, I haven't fully finished watching the first one, so I can't tell you my personal experience, but I know a lot of people were just constantly saying it's not good as the first one, it's not good as the first one, and I'm not hearing a lot of people talk about the first one, so I'm inclined to believe that just from other, what everybody else get is that it's not as good as the first one, and that just really shows it. So, I mean, that's just kind of saddening, because I really did go into this movie and I enjoyed it. I didn't love it, but I really did enjoy it, especially just the songs. Usually songs get on my nerves in a movie, but all the songs in this movie was good as hell. I mean, truly good. Even the last credits movie was great. And the song that's going to get stuck in your head is the song that actually says, is this song's going to get stuck inside your head? If you've seen the movie, you know exactly what I'm talking about. But if you haven't, you need to go check it out. It's really good, especially if you like the first one. And then the other one that I'm going to talk about real quick before I get into the coming movies this weekend and then my predictions is the Happy Death Day. Came in at number 7. And so just comparison to the first film is that the budget for the first film was $4.8 million, and the budget for Happy Death Day to You was $9 million. So they upped the ante or whatnot. But the opening weekend is significantly different, and it's like I can't pinpoint. Just like with the Lego Movie, even though the Lego Movie had 2 other movies after it that were good in just quality, were good in quality. I'm not talking about the box office, the money, but it was good in quality. It's weird looking at it because the opening weekend for Happy Death Day, the first one, was 26 million. The opening weekend for the second one, which was, in my opinion, was better than the first one, was 9.4 million. Take that in. 9.4 million. The opening weekend. You would have thought, with everybody coming out of Happy Death Day loving it, and there's a lot of critics that came out loving the movie. A lot of people, a lot of regular audience, just movie-going people went into the movie loving it. And they came out really not seeing the second one. It came out to 9.4 million opening weekend. Over the weekend, it did 4.8 million, but it's going to be in the profitable zone. Don't get me wrong, it's going to make money, but just looking at the numbers is really significant. So I don't really know if they're going to do a part 3, but I don't think it's going to reach the domestic number. It possibly could, but I don't think it's going to reach the domestic number of the first film, which is 55.6 million. Right now, as I've when I wrote down this, these numbers, 21.5 million for the second one. Well, 21.5 million for the second one. Worldwide for the first one was 125.4 million, and right now the worldwide total for the second one is 42.3 million. It's not going to catch it. This movie is going to make less than the first one, even though I, as well as other people I've talked to about it, have said that they like the second one better than the first one. It's crazy how they're doing less than the first one. I can't pinpoint it. I really cannot pinpoint it. I just really can't. So I don't know. It's an anomaly. It's an anomaly. Well, whatever. I just wanted to point that out because I thought that was just kind of weird of just how those things work. Maybe it's just more to it behind it, but hey. But when it comes down to it, what's coming out this weekend? There's only 2 movies coming out this weekend, and only one movie I'm very, very interested in seeing, so there's no priorities taking place this weekend if I were to go see the other film, which I'm heavily debating. But anyway, let's go ahead and get into it. So the first film that's coming out this weekend is Tyler Perry's A Madea Family Funeral. The second movie that's coming out this weekend is Greta. Oh my gosh. And it's just about a girl who finds a purse on the train, retrieves it, and brings it back to the owner, in which she befriends, but later finds out that, the woman that she's befriend is kind of crazy. And so it's just this whole dramatic little situation she finds herself in, and she's got to deal with it. And yeah, so just the Madea movie, just it involves a family wedding. Somebody dies and antics ensues. It's just not a movie I'm very interested in seeing. It's not. After seeing Madea Boo 2, I'm just not interested in seeing no more of Madea. I'm really not. If I go see it, it's probably because I want to go to the movies, but then you can come up with the argument like, you can go see another film that you've seen before. Because I've seen almost every film up to date. So, I don't know. I don't know. I'm still debating. But Greta is a movie that when I first saw the trailer, I'm like, yeah, I'm definitely might end up going to go see this. I definitely might end up going to go see this because it looks really good. So, I don't know. What the hell? I probably might go check it out. Well, not probably. I definitely am going to go check it out. I don't know what I'm saying. Probably I'm not going to be able to do it today. I'm probably going to be able to have to do it like on like Sunday or Monday or whatever. But I'm definitely going to go see it. It's getting a good, rating score. What was it the last time I looked? Okay. Hold on one second. So the Rotten Tomato score for it was 67, which is not like a huge number, but it's up there. So, hey, I mean, I'm looking forward to it. But, hey, it is what it is. So let's go ahead and round it off with what I feel will take over the weekend. And then we're going to end off the podcast. So, Dragon Street is going to come in at number 1 again. Alita Battle Angel is going to come in at number 2 again. Lego Movie 2 is going to come in at number 3 again. But in this case, Medea's Family Funeral is going to come in at number 4. And Fighting With My Family is going to come in at number 5. Now, I could be wrong with this. Madea could be a little bit higher because there is a huge fan base for Madea. I'm just not one of them. Fighting With My Family, even though it took the number 4 spot this weekend, it probably could drop down 2 spots over this weekend. Greta, the reason why I don't have it on there is because it's a movie that I don't think a lot of people know about. I haven't seen too many advertisements for it. It doesn't have any huge names up in there. It has Chloe Moretz or Chloe Grace Moretz or Chloe Moretz or whatever she's going by these days. I think she took out her middle name and she's just going by Chloe Moretz. But she's not a huge star. I mean, she is known. People probably have seen her in other movies and everything else, but she's not a name grabber. Like, if I was to go to anybody that I know, but like, oh, Chloe Moretz or Chloe Grace Moretz is in this movie, they'd be like, who? You probably have to. She was in that movie with Zac Efron. I forgot the name of it. Neighbors. She was up in Neighbors too, or she was up in The Fifth Wave. And this and that. You probably would have to bring out a lot of movies that somebody may have seen, and stuff like that, so they can remember her. But I haven't really seen too much from it, unless you avidly go to the movies or you see a lot of movies. I ain't gonna say like a movie a week, but if you, within like a 5-month span, you've seen 10 movies, you probably would have heard of the movie, something like that. Or, maybe seen something on YouTube, but I haven't seen any YouTube advertisements for it, no heavy marketing for it or anything. So I don't think anybody knows that this movie exists unless you go to the movies without knowing what you want to see and you're just looking and just, or, you're on the internet looking for movies and you might read them like, oh, this sounds interesting. It's not one of those movies that a lot of people know. So that's why I will put Madea in the top 5 and not Greta. But it has a good it has a good opportunity to be in the top 5. Maybe at number 5. Yeah, I believe that Madea will be at number 4. It will be in the top 5. And yeah, that's my pick. So just again to reiterate, Dragons at number 1. Well, Dragons 3 at number 1. Alita, Battle Angel at number 2. Lego Movie 2 at number 3. Madea Family Funeral at number 4. And Fighting With My Family at number 5. And that is my pick for this weekend. I believe it so, and hope it will happen. But in any case, that ends off this podcast. It's a little bit lengthy of a podcast, but hey, it's whatever. I thank you guys for joining me on it, and hope to see you guys on the next podcast. I'm gonna try and drop one this weekend to cover some more stuff that I wanted to get into. If not, I will see you guys next week for the next edition of the Take One podcast, and I will catch you guys later. Peace. Hey, before you guys leave, make sure you hit that like button as well as that subscribe button. And you see that little bell? Make sure you hit that to turn on your notifications. That way you'll be notified for anything that appears on my channel. Hope to see you guys next time. Peace out.